One globe, 7 continents, 195 countries. Recipes more than probably the number of atoms in the universe. A myriad of languages, cultures, and food. Welcome to Across the Globe. In this series, I will explore what I like best, food, and I want all of you to come across the globe with me. Canada, the world's second largest country after Russia. You know what they say? The bigger you are, the more diverse you are. Okay, fine, no one said that, but well, Canada is actually one of the most ethnically diverse countries in the whole world, where intercultural harmony is achieved through a wide range of menus, but some traditional dishes have just managed to climb the ladder and stay there. Yes, I'm talking about the classic poutine, Nanaimo bars, and Montreal-style bagels. And you know what the best thing about these are? They are so easy to veganize, well, in this case, vegetarianize. So for breakfast, I wanted to go all ham and have a big plate of delicious foods. I know the bagels didn't turn out like bagels, but nothing peanut butter and maple syrup can't fix. Talking about maple syrup, did you know Canadians produce about 71% of world's pure maple syrup? And they also call it liquid gold. Oh, and the leaf on the Canadian flag is actually a maple leaf. Nanaimo bars. This bar is so legendary, it even has its own dessert stamp. What's so cool to me is that these bars come in more than 100 variations, to each their own I guess. I actually combined 3 recipes for this and then modified it into my own version of a Nanaimo bar, and I don't know, that just makes me feel so welcomed and accepted into the Nanaimo bar society. So this bar has 3 layers. The bottom layer is actually made out of graham crackers and chocolate, so it's basically a chocolate biscuit layer. On top of that you have a custard layer, and on top of that you have a chocolate ganache. Yeah, that just sounds incredible to me already. For dinner, I made poutine. This Canadian dish I am sure everyone knows of. If you don't, then, well, you do know now. It's just french fries with a chicken or beef-based gravy with cheese curds on top. I, of course, couldn't have that, so I just used vegetable stock instead.
Running out of steam, every day be the same. Living like this, testing all my patience.
And this is what the final product looks like. Don't lie to me, that looks pretty legit. And it tasted absolutely delicious. So yum. India, my country. Yes, for those of you all who don't know, I am an Indian, and when I think of India, the first few things that come to my mind are festivals, Bollywood, gods, but most importantly, food. If you travel from north to south, the variety of foods that exist will honestly blow your mind, and it wasn't really possible for me to show you even 2% of the diversity in 24 hours because there are just too many of them. But one thing I am sure all of India consumes, or at least has consumed at some point of time, is Maggi. Maggi is basically Indian ramen, and I would say a big part of every Indian's childhood. When I was in school, I used to beg my mom to give me Maggi for lunch, which she never used to, but when she did, that day was just so special. And I'm not even gonna deny it. I do love me some cold, soggy Maggi. It just hits you different. With Maggi, I made some chai, and listen, you either call it chai or you call it tea. There is no chai tea or chai latte or whatever. I said what I said, there is no in between. There isn't. I just want to quickly let you know that all of my other videos have Indian foods like naan, paneer tikka, dosa, idli, like all the good stuff. So y'all can watch those if you want to see more Indian food. Now coming back to the food on hand, I had some puran poli with some dahi vada, aloo ka sabzi, halwa, papad, and yes, it was beautiful. For this beautiful rich country, we're gonna do something different. I'm gonna tell you a few facts about South Korea which I bet you didn't know about. So, okay. South Korea has the fastest internet connection speed in the whole world and is one of the biggest economies. A completely contrasting fact now, apparently South Koreans are obsessed with feces. Feces as in poop, okay? They literally have an entire museum devoted to poop, and toilets across countries feature flushing sounds, background music and colored water. I mean, the poop I get to see on a daily basis is of Cookie, my dog, the poop emoji, and sometimes my own. So I don't really think I want to see more of it. Thank you.
We'll end the chase, we've won the race. We'll have our kids that we will raise, and y'all will be here with me. With me.
Did you know that when in South Korea a baby is born, it is aged 1 year old? As in other countries, you start from 0 and then you go up to 1. But in South Korea, the day you are born, you are labeled as 1 year old. South Korean men love makeup, with up to 20% of the male Korean population using makeup regularly. I love this. Makeup is something that should be accessible to everyone, irrespective of the gender. Any human who wants to appreciate makeup should be able to do so without any restrictions. Yay, Korea, you do you. Food fact: kimchi is actually South Korea's national dish, which is sometimes fermented underground for months. It is so popular that Koreans have it with every single meal, and while taking pictures, they say kimchi instead of cheese. So like, say kimchi, yeah.
Angel boy, you say that. Never gonna stand a chance, heartbreak like a sad romance.
Christmas is an official holiday in South Korea in which Santa Claus wears a blue suit instead of red one and is also known as Santa Coloso, like Grandfather Santa.
Your perfect face, not to mention your perfect body elegance. The way you move while you're dancing. You say that I'm your favorite toy, but I'll never be your angel boy.
I asked you guys on my Instagram for some K-pop music recommendations because K-pop is like why are there so many ads? Why don't you all suggest me some K-dramas? I feel like I have watched a few of them before. I watched this series called To the Stars, Love from the Stars or something like that. It was really good. I really liked it. And I had this phase where I was watching a lot of Chinese dramas and a lot of K-dramas, and now I feel like I want to go back and watch a lot of them. I don't know, I just feel really happy now for some reason. My mood just automatically uplifted. And I don't know. So, apparently, if a Korean name is written in red, it means that the person is about to die or is already dead. And it is also believed that if a person sleeps with an electric fan on overnight, then the person is gonna die. Yeah, doesn't it seem so fascinating to you that there are so many cultures in this world, but they are all so similar in at least some aspect, like traditional beliefs, superstitions, some foods. It's just so cool. Brazil, the biggest coffee producing and consuming country in the whole world. Well, no wonder Brazil has the most awesome football players of all time. Okay, sorry, I don't know a lot about football or how much Brazilian football players drink coffee, but they do drink a lot of yerba mate. What is that, you may ask? Well, it is a traditional drink that is made from a native plant of South America and is also often referred to as drink of the gods. It is actually the most popular drink there, which contains a moderate amount of caffeine and is known to enhance memory, mood and alertness. Pretty cool, huh? What's cooler is that when I went on the internet and typed what food is Brazil known for, oh my god, everywhere I found the same answer: feijoada. It is actually Brazil's national dish, and legend has it that feijoada is a Brazilian dish which was first made by the slaves with the leftovers their masters left. But that actually isn't true. It is a dish that came to South America with the Portuguese and has been modified over the years into the dish that it is now, which is indeed Brazilian. It is a stew of black beans and pork, but but I honestly couldn't find black beans in the store, and also pork is off limits, so I made a vegetarian version of it with kidney beans, which I know are not as nutty as black beans, but I think taste the most similar to black beans. And I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting this to taste like the Indian classic rajma chawal, but it did not. It was like a burst of flavors I had never experienced before, and I get why Brazilians can have it for lunch, breakfast or dinner, any time of the day really. For dinner, I made pão de queijo, a stretchy Brazilian cheese bread, which was supposed to be a rookie dish, but I don't know, I feel like I somehow messed it up because it just didn't taste like bread to me. Or maybe that's how it's supposed to taste like. I don't know.
They gonna change over time, and it's just a matter of it, 'cause I know we'll be alright.
Italy. Oh gosh, what a dream. Italy is such a beautiful place. I haven't been there, but I would love to be able to go there someday. Italian people like to eat a light breakfast so that they can have a more hearty, heavier lunch. So for breakfast, they usually have cornetto, which looks like a croissant but is actually not. It is sweeter, softer and has less butter, but I obviously couldn't find it here, so I just got a butter croissant with some black coffee. And I don't think if I've ever said this before, but I love black coffee. I just love it.
My feelings I can't deny.
For lunch, I made pizza, and apparently, authentic Italian pizza is very simple with a thin crust and simple toppings like tomato sauce, mozzarella and basil, because they believe less is more. So of course I made just that, with the exception of basil because it's out of season.
You're out of my mind. I keep
And let me tell you, this was the best pizza I have ever had in my life. It was so simple but so good. Also, did you know in Italy you won't find pizza in a restaurant? Yeah, if you want pizza, you need to go to a specific pizza place. Interesting, huh?
she's a Mona Lisa.
For dinner, I was just being a lazy bum. Well, what do you expect after that whole pizza for lunch? I took the lazy route and made lasagna roll-ups instead of mushroom lasagna, which was my original plan. This was actually super simple and quick to make, and we all love that, don't we? I find it so cool how all these places are so different, yet they have something in common. I personally find myself so privileged to be able to discover these cultures with you and just try new things and just appreciate the beauty of this world, of this globe. And I hope you stay with me on this journey, and I will see you soon on episode 2 of Across the Globe. Bye bye.